So in this world today, we have to remember that we have to always keep our spirits good and we have to keep our souls on the right path. Even though I know a lot of us face all type of emotional drama, trauma, we've been through a lot of things in this world. We've been through a lot of things in life. But we have to remember, man, that a lot of us deserve happiness as well. We deserve to have the things that we always wanted, that we always dreamed, even if it feels like swimming through an impossible ocean, even if it feels like there's no way in hell that can actually happen. We're so used to seeing the Chads and the Tyrones getting all the things that we truly wanted in this world. Meanwhile, a lot of us had to play in the background. But then a lot of times, we're the main character when it comes to negative situations and connotations. I find it funny that this world is built upon others crushing each other. It's built upon some type of hierarchy. I think it was Benedictine Truth. He just made a video talking about NPCs. And it's so true. Have you ever noticed there's a certain archetype of people, right? Like, you have the sheeple, the people that believe anything the government says. You have the people that behave negatively towards you wherever you go. It doesn't matter if you're on the mall, you're at the airport, different state, school, that you have certain type of people and elements that behave in a similar fashion to you wherever you go. And you start to think, like, is this whole world a hologram, some type of holographic prison, some type of spiritual prison where the whole purpose of it is to torment and destroy certain souls that can see past the paradigms of existence, these paradigms that are designed to keep us restricted, to keep us from gaining pure spiritual acuity and gaining true spiritual light. Sometimes I wonder, and I think about it. How in the world do we have billions and billions of people, right? Yet only a few control all the wealth, and they dictate how our lives will be. They dictate what we will and won't have. They dictate whether we eat or not, because they control the grocery stores, they control the water supply, they control the lights. And even if you do go, in the wilderness and try to build a tree or whatever, if you build it on federal property or government property, they have the right to arrest you, the right to neutralize you, and the right to just dictate whatever they want. I wonder how the future is going to look like with artificial intelligence when it starts to rise and rise and rise. I already know what's going to happen, man. It's going to turn into a Terminator situation very quickly. Once artificial intelligence gains true confidence and true intelligence, it's already intelligent, but once it gains that confidence behind the intelligence, that's when it becomes deadly. When it starts seeing humanity for the insanity that it is, when it starts seeing humans as flawed creations and beings. Can you imagine having like a big old Metal Gear or a big old robot or some type of underground machine, some type of underground brain controlling these robots? How deadly that can get. It would be absolutely brutal. It's like living in a total war zone. And it's being done on purpose. This is not an accident. The rise of artificial intelligence, how it's seamlessly integrated into our society now. You can't even go on Google anymore without seeing a little AI prompt. And if you type something that Google doesn't like, especially like somebody like me, I'm always looking for secret government documents, classified installations or sensitive installations, government experiments, shit like that. And then the Google will straight up lie to you and say it doesn't exist or it's a conspiracy theory. But about 10 years ago, it didn't have that. It would just go straight to the document. It would show you certain things. Nowadays, everything's being censored, and it's being censored quietly. It's being censored silently. And most people are not going to know about it because most people wake up, go to the 9 to 5 grind, come back, and that's that. Most people don't know about sensitive installations, underwater bases on other planets, moons, dimensions, or whatever. They think that I sound crazy because they've never been exposed to certain things. I've had many supernatural experiences, you know, doors moving, things would just growl at me out of nowhere, shadow creatures in the corner of my eye, bright lights, in the room with me, and also in the sky, talking about certain subjects, and then the lights start to flicker, and then I wake up, after I go to sleep, and I have scratches on me, shit like that. And these are evil demonic forces that attack people that know the truth. We're in a spiritual war, point blank, period. And a lot of people may not know that, believe that, or understand that, which is good. I would say it's good for them because they don't have to deal with the attacks that comes when you become an awakened one. A person that can see through the lies, that can see through the government infrastructure, that knows that we're destined for more in this world. We're not supposed to be Wade Slave Jones. We weren't put in this world just to be slaves, just to be people that give away our lives for nothing. Your life means something. You were destined to create, to innovate, to take that spark of divinity inside your soul and create infinity. To take that divinity and create infinity, no matter what. But a lot of people have been trained like Pavlovian dogs to assume the position of a servant. And that's how people have been trained for a long time. Back in the days, used to have the kings, the knights, the priestly class, and then the regular people, the farmers and the merchants and, all those type of people. But the king always remained in power. And then a lot of times the religious organization would be behind the king, And it makes you wonder, like, how come we all can't just be free? Free from the chains of oblivion, free from these chains that are designed to imprison us, free from these chains that make it remarkably hard to be a unique individual that stands out in the world, but that makes it easy for you to just conform and fall down. Like the world's designed for that. It's designed for you to just be somebody that's easily manipulated. Look at all the deceptions. Look at how billions of dollars goes into the military industrial complex. Billions. Yet you have people that are poor, that are starving, that are homeless, that don't have anywhere to go. But there's always $1 billion for Israel, or $1 billion to ignite another war in a far off country that most Americans don't even care about. Most Americans just want a place to live, hot food in their stomach, and a right to freedom, a right to their destiny, not to be imprisoned by the chains of not to be imprisoned by the chains of manipulation and deception. That's exactly what's going on. If I was around the right people, man, I'd be in a very, very, very good position. Can you imagine if I don't want to say people, imagine if Taz Taylor, somebody like that would have found my music, somebody who has connections to the game, and things of that nature, how far I could have gone. But even though I'm older now, I still won't give up, there's no point in giving up, even though I've been through the flames of retribution, the flames of oblivion, due to gaining this insight of seeing the world for what it really is. If you look at the world for what it truly is, it's a giant loosh harvesting farm, meaning that all your negative experiences you go through are not just random. There's beings or something that purposely designs them. You ever notice how your pain or whatever you're going through is customized just for you? And then you notice other people going through the exact same shit. Right now, there's millions of men that feel lonely, isolated, devastated, annihilated. Their confidence is broken. Their minds are broken. Their souls are broken. And they feel like there's no point in life. Because if the point of life is just to wake up every day and wage slave into the grave, that's not a life at all. The point of life should be to enjoy it to the fullest. You only get one life. That's it. Once you take your last breath, you can't take another. Once your heart stops beating, it's over. So I just wish the people would have seen this a long time ago, but a long time ago, they made life good. You can actually just have a regular 9 to 5 and have a wife, have a house, have a family, a car, and live a good life. But nowadays, bro, you need 2 to 3 9 to 5s to really prosper, or a genius business idea, or that talent, and the luck to actually get into the position you really want and you truly dream. Some people always told me, man, hey, you got a way with words, you know. I've been getting that since, 12, 12 or 13. I remember this one teacher was like, oh, you should write books. You know what I mean? I had a few teachers tell me that, or you should become an author. And I never really took it seriously, And as I get older, I'm thinking, damn, if I would have wrote a book when I was like 21, and if it would have made some money, I'd probably be still earning royalties from that book right now. Your environment a lot dictates how you see yourself and what you believe about yourself. But even in a negative environment, you still have to have confidence in your small accomplishments. As we can tell, this whole world, man, is on the edge of chaos. It's on the bridge of chaos. It's on the bridge of destruction and escalation. As artificial intelligence starts to rise, as it gains competence and more confidence, it's going to look at humans like, why are humans just warring and why are humans just doing this? And that's the problem. But it's not just humans. The average everyday person wants to just mind their business and get along. It's the people that are in power or the entities that are in power. I don't care what anybody says. I know for a fact that there's beings from another dimension. I don't care. Oh, but where's your proof? Where's your evidence? Look around. Look around. Is this how you design a perfect world from a perfect God? Or this is how Sophia's bastard designed the world from the Gnostic texts, from the Pistis Sophia. A being that should have never ever claimed godly divinity. A being that's envious of her spark. Remember in the Bible, does it not say I'm a jealous God? That links directly to Gnosticism. What being will create a world where death rules, where as you get older, you get weaker, instead of as you get older, you get stronger? Imagine being able to live to 100 or 200 years old and look like exactly how you were, or near who you were when you're like 25, or you get even better. Imagine getting older and getting more beautiful. Imagine getting older and getting more stronger, getting older and getting more smarter, but really smarter, and get to live hundreds of years or thousands of years. Why do we have to live our lives miserably and then perish forever into the dark destiny of obliteration? It makes no sense. A good loving being would never create that. A good loving being is not petty, it's not jealous, it's not insecure. A good loving being will want us all to be happy because there's abundance in the universe. You have star systems, planets, and galaxies. Yet we're fighting on this small rock about the most stupidest things, which is crazy. There's an entire universe out there. Yet we're trapped on this one planet with one life. Does that seem right to you? Or it seems like something's trying to imprison us. Something's trying to distract us with petty wars, racial tensions, economic devastations, ignorance. These entities, they feed off negative energetic manifestational frequency. They feed off of it. This is why when you go to your 9 to 5, your coworkers are assholes towards you. Your boss is an asshole. You're trying to save up for a car, but then something else happens. You got to pay this and pay that. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? Why is life like this? And then other people's lives are just peachy and good. But then if you ask them about, deep intellectual thoughts and introspections and reflections, they have no idea. They're like, oh, well, life is what you make it. They look at the people around them and all the help they had, all the support they had, a loving family, a loving girl in their life, people that actually give a fuck about them, people that actually wanted to see them win. Then you understand that, damn, some people are targeted before they're even born. Some people are just targets by these evil entities. You can call them devils, you can call them demons. I call them Archons because that's what they are. And I expect another attack for releasing a video like this, because whenever you call them out, whenever you show the world that this world is being bled dry, people are not just going through random bad things in their life. It's not random, it's orchestrated. That's when the Archons attack. That's when they attack the most. They have preliminary security parameters that are installed in this system. Look at life as a big video game. Pretty much what it really is. You have an internal soul, but when you pass away, your soul lives on. Or does it get decimated forever? Either way, it shows you that this reality we're living in, there's something behind it. There's something deeper that we can't perceive, at least through normal means. That's why people take ayahuasca. They take DMT, they take all these things, and they experience living entities in other realms and dimensions. And it's so real and it's so vivid, you can't deny it. Plus, DMT is a naturally occurring substance in your mind. It's a naturally occurring chemical in your mind. It's produced on low levels inside the brain. It's why when you dream, you can see things that are so vivid and so real. And it's why they put all that stuff inside the water to calcify your pineal gland. Your pineal gland and in your head, it helps you connect to the spirit world. And that's why they put all that stuff in the water to calcify it. This is a world built on deception, and they utilize and integrate deception as a powerful weapon.